Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. It's the 1 year review of my Tesla, the good, the bad, the ugly, and we'll get right into it. So the number one thing that really made me purchase this after test driving multiple different models, and I stuck with the Model 3 long range with 358 miles of range, the main tipping point, so to speak, of why I bought this vehicle was the autopilot is included in every Tesla vehicle. Now keep in mind, Tesla doesn't have a sales and marketing team. Obviously, if you go in the showroom, you'll interact with people and you can web chat them, but there's no advertising being done. There's no commercials. And so I think if most people realize that you get autopilot for free with every Tesla, I think more people will be inclined to buy it. I was looking at it and test driving it, and when I realized that and confirmed it, I was like, "Are you really going to give me autopilot for free?" Yeah. Now there's a difference between autopilot and full self-drive, which you see in the video. We'll cover that later in the video. One thing I will say about autopilot is you wouldn't think about getting in your car and going for a drive without your seatbelt on. That's how I feel about autopilot. It is so safe. Without it, I feel like I'm not wearing my seatbelt, so to speak, after a year of driving this thing. I know I can trust it. I know the data suggests it's 4 times more safe than the safest driver, assuming you're following all the road rules, keeping your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel, paying attention, 4 times safer than just a regular driver. So if I'm not in autopilot, I get a little antsy. So also after a year of driving, it's still fun. I can't emphasize that enough. And like I just said, with the autopilot, it's super safe. Even without the autopilot, you could do lane assist protection. And I just still cannot believe after a year how fun this vehicle is to drive. I have over 21,000 miles in 1 year. Volunteer to drive everywhere, road trips, can't use camping mode in it. It's amazing. So the other very easy thing about this is the charging. So that's like the number one question people have. Well, how far does it go? And what about charge time, right? So if you've done any kind of research, you're probably very familiar with that. I'm just talking from my own experience here. Charging's super easy. I got mine. They still included the charging adapter cable for free, and now it's a little over $200. So literally anyone can plug in. Everyone has electricity, regular 110 outlet. So that excuse of I don't have anywhere to charge, it just doesn't wash. Speaking of charging, some other accessories you might want to get is this J1772 adapter, which will cover most level 2 chargers. And then I had to end up get this little lock on Amazon because you would have people unplug you to be not very nice people. Also, it's so easy to plug into a 220 outlet to speed up your charge times. And they make a couple of different adapters of these. You can just plug right into. This just pops in right there. So obviously when it's not plugged in, this will just pull right out and this will slide in, and now you have access to 220 for faster charging. And if you really want to open up your charging world, get the CCS adapter. This thing is amazing. This allows up to, it says 300 kilowatt an hour charging. Fastest I've seen is about 220 kilowatts, so very capable, almost as fast as Tesla Supercharging. And I know people claim that they can charge pretty fast, and this is a really nice thing to open up. So you not only have Tesla's networks, but you have any other network has this CCS adapter capability to charge from. So along with some more of the pros to owning a Tesla is the free software updates. So if you bought a Tesla in 2012, you have the same interface icons that I have on my 2022, as well as the people just bought a 2023. We all have the same interface, so your car software never goes obsolete. Now for you detractors out there, they're saying yes, but the people that bought it don't have the full self-driving computer. Right, I'm talking about the actual interface. You're not going to have a different climate control than someone else. We're all going to have the same thing. So another great example of the free software updates is if you're in park, you can conduct a Zoom meeting from the camera inside your vehicle, which is just a game changer. Not having to go into a coffee shop or somewhere else. You're in the quietness of your vehicle, so there's no distractions. Makes for a pretty entertaining. People are always like, well, where are you at? Oh, I'm in my car. Like, oh, okay. Well, my Mercedes doesn't do that. Yeah, but a Tesla does. So that's pretty neat. Also, speaking on the software updates, Tesla recently, a few months ago, added a live look on the Sentry mode inside the cabin. Now, Tesla's pretty smart. So if you have someone in the car, like let's say someone's, you lend the car to somebody and they're sitting in the vehicle and you use Sentry mode and it's in park, you still won't be able to see the occupants. If it senses weight in the seat, it will not show you what's going on in the cabin. But really, the things you cannot see when you're test driving is the full app functionality with your phone. Your phone acts as a key as long as your Bluetooth's on. It works great. You walk up to it, the door's unlocked. It'll show you your current status if you're charging, how much energy you've put into the vehicle since you started charging. Now this is a normal slow, what they call trickle charge or whatever. Home, 11 kilowatts. This function right here, the live camera, is awesome. Allows you to see what all your cameras see in front, left, behind, etc. And that was when I was talking about the interior camera. As long as no one's sitting in the car, it'll tell you the temperature. It's 133 degrees in there. So if we don't like that, go down to climate and we can hit vent windows. And usually what I've seen here in Florida, going from 134 degrees, after about 10 minutes, if you check my other videos on my YouTube channel, it usually lowers it about 5 degrees. So it does help. More importantly though, if you just want to cool off the car, just go ahead and turn the air to whatever temperature you want and you'll see it's blowing. So the app itself is amazing and you don't really get to enjoy that or experience it while you're test driving the vehicle. Also, this app is so good that if you wanted to say schedule your leaving time, you can do that. You can schedule your departure time and you can do the same thing for charging. So you can schedule your charging. You can also precondition the interior temperature of the vehicle for when you know you're gonna leave, if you leave work the same time every day. So that's a great little feature. Let's talk about maintenance costs. So in 1 year, I've rotated the tires and I had Tesla mobile technician do that. It was $65 more than I wanted to pay. And the only other cost for maintenance was $3 in washer fluid. I've gone through two jugs of washer fluid. Another great thing I love about the Tesla is when you're charging, even at a supercharger or anywhere, if you're sitting in the vehicle, you can use the theater mode, so you can watch the pre-downloaded apps like Netflix and Twitch and Hulu and YouTube and Disney Plus, things of that nature. You also have the whole world of whatever else you want. There's a really good app that you can just download the web browser. It's called a Better Theater. And that will allow you to view whatever you want. For example, I have a MLB subscription, so I can watch that in full screen mode, which is awesome. So it's not included in the Tesla interface, but you can use that, a Better Theater, and watch anything on full screen mode while in park. Another great feature about the Tesla that I love is the light shows. Now it's Florida, it's summertime, it's pretty hot, so I don't generally do a lot of light shows in the summer, but in the fall, especially around Christmas time, it's great to download a bunch of custom light shows and your vehicle will put on an amazing show. Everyone's wowed by it. It's a really cool feature. All it takes is just a little USB thumbstick drive. You can buy a bunch of cheap ones on Amazon, download a bunch of different shows and entertain your friends. That's a really neat feature I really enjoy. Also, using Live Sentry mode, you can honk the horns, flash the lights, you can do a mission, and you can actually talk to people. Well, I shouldn't say talk to them. You can speak to them by holding down the speaker button here, and it'll change your voice, and you won't be able to hear what they're saying back, but you could tell people to get away from your car or whatever. I get asked a lot about the white seats. They hold up really well. I probably don't clean them as much as I should, but they definitely hold up. And then, obviously if they're white, you can see if there's something on them. You can spray it down. Use a magic eraser, usually just a regular cloth, microfiber towel, and some warm water is all you need. It's that theater mode we talked about. These are all the pre-programmed apps that are included. Here's some more stuff you can do. Now, I've had the car. Boombox is great. You can
broadcast whatever media you've got playing. Plus you can talk to people outside the car. This only works in park mode. Emissions is one that everybody loves. You just push the button and you can make it like a passenger's farting, and that means you can do it outside the vehicle and people can hear it outside the vehicle. Do fart on demand, which is kind of fun. There's a sketch pad, which I think I've only used once. Change your map navigation with like Mars and Christmas time, Santa and Rainbow Road. I'll get to Rainbow Road in a minute on the negatives. Here's a feature I use all the time. I really love it. So you pull into wherever you're going, you just run into the store for a minute. All you have to do is touch the air conditioning screen, which brings up this prompt. Over here, if you had a dog or a child or something, you can just hit dog mode, it keeps the air going. I use this all the time. I just keep the air going, set the temperature, walk out. When you walk away from the vehicle will lock and the air keeps blowing. You get back in your vehicle on a hot day like in Florida where it's 96 degrees out, and you get back in your nice cool 67 degree vehicle. It's a great function. Oh, here's that website I was talking about, A Better Theater. You just tell it you want to go full screen mode. So there you have it. You can watch 4 games at once with the MLB app. While you're in park, you just hit that and pick the games you want. It's pretty cool. So one thing I want to change about owning this Tesla is the one pedal driving. I think it's fantastic. You get used to it. You come up to a stop sign, you time it right, take your foot off the accelerator, and it just stops for you. It's a great feature. Of course, you can use Bluetooth and you can stream any kind of audio source, but also keep in mind, Tesla is smart enough not to let you stream anything while you're driving, but you can stream audio from a website. So if you wanted to like read a Bible verse, you just hit play, it would play it for you as you're driving down the road. So that's a nice little feature not many people know about. You can actually do web surfing. The passenger can sit there web surf if they wanted to, but obviously nowadays everybody has a phone, but if they wanted to use this, they certainly could. One thing I will say that I didn't utilize enough the first year is when you hit navigate, you can say, and by telling it you're hungry, you can see all the restaurants in your area, and then when you click on them, it'll just take you right to them. And if you want more information, like maybe the reviews, you can actually click on that and read some of the reviews. So that's a neat little feature as you're driving, you're not sure if you wanted to find something like that. This is one of those improvements Tesla made with the charging. They show you all the places, and they didn't used to show you the price per kilowatt. So for example, here in Clearwater, they went 48 cents a kilowatt. Now these rates change almost daily. It's really good to compare. You know, if you don't mind driving 10 miles out of the way, paying 22 cents a kilowatt versus 48 really adds up. So I usually put about 52 kilowatts in. So for me, that's a difference of $11 versus almost $25. So yeah, I'd rather drive, you know, an extra 10 miles out of my way. Yeah, granted, I lose a little bit in range, but if you're looking to save money, that definitely adds up over the course of a year. Now we'll get into the negatives, if there are any. I mean, everything's got trade-offs in this world, but the one negative for me is when you have autopilot engaged and a vehicle cuts in front of you, as far as like cutting across the street. You're driving this way, vehicle cuts across. They could be, I don't know, 30, 40 yards ahead of you, clearly going 30 miles an hour, cutting across, and autopilot will jam on the brakes, overreacting, not realizing that they're continuing to go through. Now I noticed when I had use of a Tesla Model X Plaid, you can see in my other videos, that when I had full self-driving enabled and the vehicle did the exact same thing, the full self-driving recognized it and didn't jam on the brakes. It may have let off the acceleration just a tad, but it was very smooth compared to the interface they're using for the autopilot. So another thing that does tend to be an issue is when you have Sentry mode engaged. Have Sentry mode engaged, it does burn quite a bit of battery. Now it's not a big deal if you're on a plug on a charger. Go ahead and use it, but you will lose about 4% overnight just by monitoring everything. So when you look at your dashboard clips, you just hit this little button down here and you can go back and play clips that were recorded by a motion sensor. And I will say I had a little bit of an issue because I was using this a lot and I did have to go in and delete some of the clips, maybe a couple times, 3 or 4 times. A lot of people have put videos about getting a bigger USB storage drive to show you. It's just that little guy right there, that little stick. That's all you have to do is just put a bigger one in there and you never have to worry about it. Also, being in Florida, it is hot, especially in the summertime. And one of the other drawbacks or cons, if you want to call it that, is it does use quite a bit of energy to keep it at a comfortable temperature, either preconditioning or just even driving around. Talked about energy usage, and this has been an update since I've had my vehicle where they show you where the energy is being used. One other thing, it's in the con section, but it's also a pro, is the ability to turn off the windshield wipers. So this was now a plus, because if you hold down the left button, you get this command and you can change fan speed, wiper blade speed. Was before you had to fumble around for it and really kind of monkey with it to get the wipers off. It was kind of frustrating. So on the negative side, when you have autopilot engaged, there's no way to disable the wiper blades. Now I have Rain-X, and highway driving, you don't need wiper blades in Florida. It's actually safer with it. So if Elon or if any of your people at Tesla are watching this, please, if you have autopilot engaged, give us the option to turn off the wiper blades, especially in the daytime in Florida. Thank you. And one of the other, actually the last con or negative is, people complained and they warned when about the vehicle that the quality of Tesla paint is kind of cheap and it's prone to chipping and whatnot. So I did have a couple, little dings of scratches and things that normally would appear, but after 20,000 miles, you're gonna have that kind of stuff happen if you drive a lot. So I'm not too worried about it. That's why people get a wrap or do that PPF protection. As far as mods go, all I did was add those pedals, performance pedals. They look like the performance version of them from a distance. They're a couple bucks on Amazon, not too bad. And some all-weather floor mats, which are a game changer in Florida when it's lots of rain and some kind of harsh conditions. So all-weather mats, and then I'll show you another mod I did. So I did put a screen protector on here, on this glass, a glass protector over it, just in case anything hits it. Kind of like a cell phone screen protector. So the other mod was I popped off the aero wheel covers and bought this little kit on Amazon that pops right in there. And I also put these little Tesla caps. So you're supposed to lose 3% range. I really haven't noticed that. That's losing 3% range without them. We'll just add this as a negative because this recently started happening, didn't used to. I'm getting this notice. So when charging the vehicle and running the air, preconditioning it, cranking the air, for some reason with the last few updates, it's not able to continue to give me the output. Now granted, I'm only pulling 1 kilowatt an hour, and when you crank the air, it's the last couple updates, it's not able, it stops charging basically. And there's one other hack I do that you'll have to watch my channel for the video coming out, the next video I release. It's I call it the neutral driving hack. Anyone that has a Tesla knows that when you're in autopilot and you're engaged and you're coming up to a red light and there's no vehicle in the lane you're in, it'll blow through the red light. So we know we're gonna have to stop. So what I end up doing is I just slide the vehicle into neutral, time it just right, and then drop it back into drive by pushing down on the stick and trying to time it just right where I have a nice easy deceleration and regenerative braking stop instead of kind of plowing through it and having to apply the brake. It's a little quirky thing, but it kind of makes driving even more fun with Tesla, just knowing that you can put it neutral and these things are so efficient they just roll like nobody's business. To the pro sides, and that would be storage space. You got this front room, plenty of room for tons of groceries or a gym bag, basketball. It really does store a lot. I like to put food. So if you have like fast food or something stinky, throw it in here. That way it doesn't stink up your cabin. And then the trunk area is huge. With the seats fold down, I'm 6'3". I've slept in here for 3 nights. No issues. And then you've got storage in the sub frunk. I've got some stuff in there, so I'm not showing you that. But plenty of room to tons of storage. If you're taking somebody to the airport with I've gotten 2 big suitcases and a bunch of smaller bags back here easily with 3 or 4 people in the car. No problem. A lot bigger than it looks. Friends, there you have it. There's my 1-year review of Tesla and everything I enjoy about it, and the few drawbacks, which they weren't many. Certainly no deal breaker kind of situations. So there you have it. If you like more information about Tesla, they do have a referral code.
So you can feel free to use my referral code, but currently this is what they're offering for the buyers. $1,000 off self-driving on the Model 3, and these change all the time with Tesla. So they used to do 1,500 supercharging miles, and all it's changed over the years. They got rid of the program, they just brought it back, but use the code in the description. I'll put the link in there, and you can save yourself some money either on the solar roof or any of these great Tesla products. Guys, thanks so much for watching my video, and like and subscribe for more great content. Thanks, and God bless you.